This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist CJ Cartledge.
Good morning, everyone. I'm First Alert meteorologist CJ Cartledge here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown once again. I hope you guys have had a great morning out there. We did see a couple of rain showers spilling over from last night's storms that did get severe late into the overnight hours here for mainly the northern portions of the region and areas north of I-30. We did see a tornado warning in areas of Howard and Sevier counties last night at around 11:15 p.m. in the evening. But it only lasted around 15 minutes as the rotation moved out of the area within that 15 minutes. So we did see some severe storms through the rest of the night. And meteorologist Evan Thomason was watching it through the night as well. But we're all in the clear from severe weather formed last night, but we do have the potential to see some severe weather today around the ArkLaTex. Once again, I'm meteorologist CJ Cartledge. Thank you guys for joining the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown for today, and I hope you guys have had a great morning so far. Today, we're going to be talking about this year's hurricane season as we are just around the corner from the start of it. The start of it is actually June 1st of the next month here. So in about less than 15 days, I would say. Around 12 days from today. Today is May 20th, by the way. Yes, for hurricane season, we are expecting ENSO neutral, which means that the sea surface temperatures here in the Atlantic or in the Atlantic oceans may be near the normal for this time of year, which is still above the criteria that the temperatures need to be for hurricane development. So we're going to dive a little bit more into that in just a couple minutes after we talk about the local forecast for today. So here's another quick look outside through our KSLA Tower camera sponsored by Mattress Plus, and we're looking at mostly cloudy conditions around the ArkLaTex as of right now. But we are watching a cold front that is slowly moving through the ArkLaTex as we speak here. And as you can see, it's moving all the cloud cover along with it outside of the region. It did prompt a few isolated showers along the front, but we could also see some more showers and storms develop as we move more into the afternoon hours, mainly for the eastern half of the ArkLaTex region for today, which prompts some potential for severe weather also around the region, which we will talk about in just a little bit here. 82 right now in Shreveport and Bossier, 80 for Mansfield. I'm going to move this to the side here. 82 for Natchitoches over in northwest Louisiana, 82 as well for Nacogdoches, 83 for Marshall and Carthage, into the 70s still for areas near Idabel and DeQueen. Now, in terms of the humidity, we're not feeling the humidity much up there to the far north and west here because the cooler air has finally moved into those regions north of I-30, but we are definitely feeling the humidity for areas south of I-30. We're feeling 11 degrees warmer, or I believe that's 9 degrees warmer. I think Marshall was at 83 degrees last time I checked. So 9 degrees warmer in Marshall, feeling like the lower 90s already at the 10 o'clock hour. 88 feeling like in Shreveport right now. It feels like the 80s as well, or the mid and upper 80s near Bienville, Natchitoches, and Mansfield. 86 is the feels like temperature near Magnolia, and it feels like the upper 80s for sure near Longview, Carthage, and Nacogdoches as of right now. So we can expect these feels like temperatures to continue to rise until the cold front hits the area, which will be later on into this afternoon here. So let's take a quick look at future track here. As you can see, the isolated showers have moved down to the south and eastern portions of the region, but we're expecting another wave of showers and storms as we move towards the afternoon, mainly during the midday towards the afternoon hours, which prompts the chance for severe weather. Mainly the damaging wind threat as well as the hail threat is associated with these storms here. I'm going to move myself out of the way. And as you can see, we can expect these storms all the way up until the late afternoon hours, just before sunset. And by the time we reach around the sunset hours, we should be under mostly clear conditions across the entire ArkLaTex, pretty much, with the exceptions of the far south and eastern portions of the ArkLaTex region. And we should expect these conditions to last all the way up until tomorrow morning or Wednesday morning, where we could see some partly cloudy skies out there around the region. We're expecting another mostly sunny day across the region here. Temperatures may be a little bit less than what we will see for today in terms of highs, but it won't be a drastic difference as compared to what we will see for today here around the ArkLaTex. Now, moving on to the severe risk. Today's severe risk shows a marginal risk of severe weather encompassing areas like Shreveport and Bossier, areas just south of Shreveport and Bossier in Panola County. That's Sabine County and Paris, San Augustine County, parts of Nacogdoches County, and DeSoto Parish, as well as Bossier Parish, parts of Webster Parish, and counties within southwestern Arkansas. And our easternmost zones are under a slight risk of severe weather as we move through the daytime hours today, once again being the highest threat for damaging winds and large hail. There's a low chance for tornadoes, but it doesn't seem to be so likely. We may receive a warning or two, but it doesn't look to be so likely that a tornado may touch down here in the ArkLaTex, especially with the pattern that we have seen through the past couple of days where severe weather's either not happened or it happened very little. Yesterday's severe or last night's severe weather was actually the most activity that we've seen through the past couple of days here in the ArkLaTex. Highs for today, though, are ranging from the lower 80s to the lower 90s across the region here. 80 near Broken Bow, 82 for DeQueen, 86 near Nashville, 85 for Hope, 86 near Prescott and Magnolia, 87 near Doddridge and Spring Hill over in southwestern Arkansas and northern Louisiana. We're taking a look at East Texas, 87 for Longview, Henderson, and Carthage, 83 for Gilmer, 89s near Nacogdoches, Chirano, and San Augustine. We may be a little bit warmer for areas just outside of the region, as well as our south and eastern portions of the area in northwest Louisiana here. 92 potentially near Natchitoches, 91 for Montgomery, 90 for Winfield, and 91 here in Shreveport and Bossier. As you can see, for the next 5 days, we're expecting our highs to not vary much between the upper 80s and lower 90s across the region here, which remains above the average for this time of year. That average high is steadily increasing as we get closer and closer towards the summer solstice, which is pretty much around the time where we will see the highest average for highs. Or if it's not then it's going to be in the middle of August, where it definitely is the hottest point of the year for the region. Wednesday, Thursday, we're expecting upper 80s and lower 90s. Same thing with our Friday into Saturday, where we may see the warmest conditions around the region heading into our Saturday. And as we head into Sunday, we could see some higher rain chances, which will cause temperatures to drop a tad bit heading into the second half of our weekend. Here's the rain chances, though, through the next 5 days. Tuesday and Thursday show slight rain chances around the region, but by the time today passes, we won't see any chance of severe weather rise through the rest of the work week, actually. As of right now, the Storm Prediction Center has not issued a risk for severe weather through the rest of the work week, and I will actually double check that as I'm talking here. But as of yesterday, we were not expecting any more severe weather after today. And that is true. Just double checked it with the Storm Prediction Center. We don't have any risk for severe weather within the region as we move through the next couple of days ahead. So that is definitely a good sign here. But we will still see the slight rain chances across the ArkLaTex, mainly on today as well as our Thursday and Saturday. And we may see some rain chances rise as we head towards our Sunday as well. Sunday and Monday, which is Memorial Day. In terms of the muggy meter, it shows that we could expect oppressive feeling conditions today until the cold front arrives, knocking that humidity out towards the comfortable range in your area. And we're expected to all remain comfortable at the highest point of humidity as we move through the day on Wednesday, but it looks to shoot right back up towards that sticky and or oppressive range heading into Thursday and Friday. Heading into our weekend and Monday, we could see the humidity rise back up into the oppressive range, bringing back the high heat and humidity that we have been seeing through the past couple of days so far. Our temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days shows that we could expect possibly cooler than average conditions for the northern half of the ArkLaTex region. That's possibly due to higher rain chances around the area, and near the normal for the southern half around Shreveport and Bossier and southward, mainly around I-20 and southward to be exact here. And as we move through the next 8 to 14, this goes into the month of June, the beginning of June, and it could that area of cooler than average temperatures may dip more and more into the ArkLaTex here. So we may see cooler conditions before temperatures get warmer here as we move more into the summer season. And as you can see, it lines up with our precipitation outlook where we could expect above average precipitation for the next 6 to 10 days. And I checked before the show, and it is likely above average precipitation for the next 8 to 14 days as well. Here's our 7-day forecast. We're expecting highs to remain in the upper 80s and lower 90s through most of the forecast period here, with a slight chance for rain as we move into our afternoon on Tuesday. Higher chance for rain for those east of the I-20 corridor and for areas just north and south of there as well. As we move into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we won't see rain chances rise much, but we could see a storm cell move in as we move towards our Thursday. It's looking like the northern half of the region may get the bulk of that rainfall once again here, but temperatures will still reach the lower 90s and upper 80s across the region here heading into the weekend. We could see mostly dry conditions heading into our Saturday, not so much for Sunday, as well as Memorial Day. Sadly, those cookouts may get rained on out there around the region, but make sure to stay weather aware. If you have any plans that you don't want to be canceled, definitely stay weather aware to the forecast. Maybe you can reschedule those cookouts depending on if the rain looks to hold up here in the forecast across the area. So that is what the weather's looking like here locally around the ArkLaTex. We're going to take another quick break, and I'm going to go into a deep dive on what we can expect for this hurricane season and just some facts about the hurricane season as compared to climatology and in years past here. So definitely stick around for more information on what to expect for or what you need to know for this hurricane season and how that applies to us here in the ArkLaTex. I'll be right back after this quick break. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. I'm First Alert Meteorologist CJ Cartledge here, returning after the break. And we are talking about tropical climatology first in terms of the hurricane season. And as you can see by the subtitle, the season starts on June 1st. It lasts all the way until November 30th. If you did not know that already, hurricane season lasts for nearly 6 months here in the ArkLaTex from June 1st to November 30th. Storms can develop just outside of that range, though, as you can see by the tropical climatology here, which I will move my face off the screen for. May 1st is when most storms, or some storms, could start to form in the not the ArkLaTex, but in the Atlantic Ocean. And as you can see, there's where we are today, where the in terms of climatology, storms have formed, as you can see by that lightish red color. In the past, there have been a few storms that have formed. There's mainly tropical storms, though. The darker red color corresponds to hurricanes, and the pink color or purplish color, however you may see that, is major hurricanes. So there have been a few tropical storms that have formed before the start of the hurricane season. So that's why climatology shows the little pieces of red there sticking up. It's less than 10, though. Less than 10 in the past 30 years. I believe this goes from 1990 to 2010. I believe this is for the tropical climatology. If I'm not mistaken, it's either 2010 or 2020. So we have seen some tropical storms out there across the across the Atlantic. I keep saying across the ArkLaTex, excuse me. I'm so used to forecasting for this area, but we're talking the tropics now. Across the Atlantic Ocean for today, we have seen a couple of tropical storms form in the past. But as of right now, there are not any tropical storms out there in the Atlantic currently, mainly because of where sea surface temperatures are in most of the Atlantic Ocean. It's a little bit warmer in the Gulf of Mexico, where storms have begun to have formed in years past, but there's no storms out there right now across the region. As you can see, that peak is it starts in the middle of August and it lasts all the way into the middle of October, and that's when we could see the highest risk for hurricanes, not just in the United States, but out there in the Atlantic as well. And they have the potential to run into the eastern coastlines as well as the Gulf Coast as well. And last year, we have seen more than three major hurricanes across the region, and three of them were actually retired. Three of them being Hurricane Milton, which is it was in the running for the strongest hurricane on record of all time. Hurricane Milton, not Milton, but Helene was the second one that ran through Florida and into the Carolinas and brought a huge amount of flooding toward in areas like the Carolinas and East Tennessee as well as Hurricane Beryl. And I know you guys have been hearing us talk about Hurricane Beryl a lot. That gave us the 7-hour tornado warning day, which we've been here for pretty much It started at around 12:30 or 12:20 during the noon show on July 8th, 2024, and we didn't get off air until around 7:30 in the evening hours. So it was definitely a long day for us here at the KSLA First Alert Weather Center, or the KSLA First Alert Weather Team. It was definitely a long day for us, and those three names have been retired now. So any other hurricane, these names are actually recycled. Let's actually look at the names here. The names are actually recycled every 6 years. So these names on the screen that you see have not been used since 6 years ago from today. So 2019, Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dexter, Aaron, Fernand, Gabrielle, Humberto, Imelda, Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo, Melissa, Nestor, Olga, Pablo, Rebecca, Sebastian, Tanya, Van, and Wendy. All those names are going to have the potential of being used by tropical storms or hurricanes, tropical storms that may turn into hurricanes for this hurricane season. And if your name is on this list, lucky you, because I've never had a hurricane named after me before. So yeah, lucky you if you get a hurricane that's named after you. I know we got to around the R or S name last year. So it was around it was very close to 20 named storms. We were expecting around 25 named storms, I think, last year, with the forecast being well above the average for this time of year. And I believe the Colorado State University, which is put out their official forecast last month, are forecasting for 17 named storms, as well as 9 hurricanes and 4 major hurricanes. And the average for this average for a hurricane season ranging from 1991 to 2020 is 14 storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. So all of those numbers from the Colorado State forecast for 2025 hurricane season are above the average for this time of year. So we may see an above average hurricane season for this year, and things of that nature. Yeah. So we are going to keep moving on here. So I'm going to ask you guys a question here, just a trivia question. Which quadrant of a hurricane is the worst? Is the worst, which feels the worst kinds of conditions out there? If you're on the YouTube stream, I can give you a little bit of some time. So if you guys want to answer this question, leave it down in the comments or answer in your head if you may do so, if you may desire. So if we keep moving on here, we're going to answer the question. The correct answer is the front right. If it's in the storm direction is moving north, the front right is the maximum hurricane impact. That's where you will see the most types of severe weather, and that's where you'll see the highest winds at. Because if the storm is moving north, the energy energy on the right side of the hurricane, especially the front right, is the strongest. As you can see here, the winds are moving counterclockwise, so reverse clockwise. So that allows for northerly winds to intensify as it's moving north here, and it's a little bit less on the western part of the storm, or the left side of the storm. The front left brings significant storm surge. The front, that's the back right there. I'm going to move myself off the screen. The back right brings significant wind, and the back left is the weakest, but it's still pretty dangerous depending on the category of the storm system here. So that's some knowledge that you may not have known there in terms of the hurricanes and the worst parts of hurricanes as they continue to form. These are sea surface temperatures right now here in the Gulf of Mexico. They're mainly in the 80s, and you need 80 or higher for tropical development. And luckily, there's no moisture in the atmosphere that is allowing for anything to start to form right now in the Gulf of Mexico, but temperatures are already in the correct range for the potential for development in tropical storms or tropical systems here for today. So yeah, that's pretty much what we can expect, not what we can expect, but what's going on right now here in terms of tropical development. We're expected to go through this entire hurricane season, which is the summertime, including the fall. And temperatures may rise as we go into the later parts of the summer season. We actually haven't hit the summer season yet. They're already in the 80s, so that just tells you what kind of season that we may have as we move into the summertime. We may be experiencing above average temperatures once again, similar to how we saw last year, but not as high in terms of temperatures as compared to last year. Temperatures were nearly in the 90s in some portions of the Gulf of Mexico here, just especially near Louisiana and the coastlines of Texas there. But they can also produce tornadoes. If you did not know, hurricanes can also produce tornadoes, which is why Beryl gave us 67 tornado warnings issued by the National Weather Service, and 43 of those tornado warnings had actual tornadoes in them that touched down and moved through the region. One of them being a long track EF2 that ran by Barksdale Air Force Base. If you may, some of you may remember that. So where to take shelter, same thing as any tornadic situation, the center part of your house, away from windows. Make sure to cover your head with a helmet, blankets, or pillows that you may have. Bathrooms, closets, or a basement are the best places to be. Without any windows. They need to have no windows or no connections to the outside of your home or structure. They're the best places to be in a tornadic situation, especially for if it's within a hurricane or if it's not in a hurricane. So that's pretty much the gist of what you may need to know for your hurricane season that is expected to come up on June 1st. The official start of it is June 1st. It lasts all the way until November 30th, but storms can form before or after the hurricane season, as you saw by the tropical climatology. I'm going to take another quick 2-minute break, and I'll be wrapping up this episode, and I'll be talking about what we can expect for tomorrow's episode in just about 2 minutes. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Just wrapping up this episode for today. Thank you guys for watching. But just giving you the gist of what the forecast is for the ArkLaTex region. We are expecting the chance for severe weather as we move towards the afternoon hours. Mainly when the cold front moves through, it could develop a few scattered storms that could turn severe at times for the eastern half of the ArkLaTex region. So it's no longer the northern half of the region getting battered by these potential for severe storms. It's mainly the eastern half for this afternoon here. But after that cold front moves out, we should be under mostly clear conditions through the night. Temperatures may lower just a little bit down into the 60s for lows, but not so much for highs, as we're still expecting the temperatures to rise into the upper 80s and lower 90s. But the humidity just won't be as high as what we have been seeing for the past couple of days. Feels like temperatures will be very close to the actual temperatures. As we move into this weekend, rain chances rise again, mainly on Sunday, not so much for Saturday as well as Monday. So we'll have to watch the forecast very, very closely as we move towards Memorial Day. And I'll let you guys know, for KSLA First Alert Weather Team will let you know if your plans for Memorial Day will be soiled or if you'll be just fine to have those cookouts for Memorial Day or anything that you may do for Memorial Day. If you have any other topics that you want us to discuss here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown, make sure to message us or send us an email at weatherbreakdown@ksla.com or message us on Facebook at KSLA First Alert Weather Team. Make sure to continue to join us at weekdays streaming at 10:30 a.m. Tomorrow, we'll be diving into which parts of the country may see the warmest conditions for this summer season. So this is a pretty wide outlook for what we can expect across the country for the next 3 months ahead, as well as the precipitation outlook, and we'll just do a long-range forecast of what we can expect across the country, as well as some portions of the ArkLaTex. And the ArkLaTex, I can say, in the sneak peek, is pretty close to that warm zone for this summer. So I'll leave the rest of that information to tomorrow, where I'll be on at 10:30 a.m. Once again, make sure to tune into the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown on our Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday.